E! News just released a new interview with Kevin Hart, and this interview is stirring up a ton of controversy, drama, and calls to cancel Kevin Hart all over again. Now, it's not clear whether this interview was filmed last week or a couple of weeks ago, when the Netflix roast and George Floyd discussion were at their peak, but it was uploaded today. And in the interview, Kevin Hart basically repeats the same comments that got him criticized, dragged, and facing backlash during his appearance on The Breakfast Club. He delivers nearly the exact same message, which is why I believe it was recorded around that same period. Either way, dropping it today has reignited the entire conversation and has people talking about Kevin Hart once again. And honestly, this feels like a major mistake. Later in this video, we're also going to get into fresh comments from Dame Dash, who did not hold back when speaking about Kevin Hart. Dame Dash was incredibly harsh in his criticism. He didn't soften his words, he didn't try to preserve relationships, and he definitely wasn't worried about stepping on toes. Dame Dash gave what he believes is the blunt truth about Kevin Hart, and it's not a good look at all.
Were you surprised by people's reaction?
From the roast?
Yeah.
Not from the people that aren't aware of what a roast is, right? Like,
I mean, the general public.
I'm not surprised, but you here's where we're like falling into a weird space. Okay, the roast isn't a new format of comedy
At all.
The roast and roasting is a specific format that has existed for years.
Forever.
Right? Roasts are meant to be brutal. It is a style of comedy. It is hard-hitting jokes that also have shock factor potential.
The black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
People should be upset like the George Floyd jokes.
I can say that some jokes weren't in the best taste. There was some that I wouldn't tell. Not my style, not what I would do, but some people are looking for that.
Right.
They're looking for that.
But let me say this, I talked to Cheryl. I think that those jokes about her husband, they hurt her feelings a little bit.
Her husband committed suicide 3 years into their marriage. I've been sitting next to her for 2 hours and I have to ask, how did he last that long?
I think a lot of people were taken aback by that joke. That it was.
You should be. It's in poor taste, but that's how they roast now. I didn't know exactly what they were gonna say. If you're gonna go against my husband taking his life, let's talk about mental health.
So the jokes attached to Cheryl's husband and him passing, from my understanding, there were conversations with Cheryl, and Cheryl said, no, you're fine. Like, by the way, not my business. I don't know if it did or didn't, but from my understanding, it did. From my understanding, Cheryl was okay because a call was made. At the roast, okay, jokes get said. All right, ooze.
I love Cheryl Underwood. I really do. I think Cheryl Underwood is an absolute joy and a delight. But she signed up for that roast. She knew exactly what came with it. George Floyd didn't. George Floyd never signed up for any of that. Now Kevin Hart is acting like he doesn't understand why people are upset. But the fact that he went on The Breakfast Club and told that story lets me know he absolutely understands why folks are mad. Kevin Hart went on The Breakfast Club and basically said, yo, I couldn't control anything. I couldn't get jokes removed. It was a live production. What was I supposed to do? Get up and attack somebody? Right? His whole point was that it was live and there was nothing he could do about it. He said he couldn't have any jokes taken out. But then we found out that wasn't true. Not only could Kevin Hart get jokes removed, he actually did get jokes removed. 18 jokes to be exact. Tony Hinchcliffe, the same guy who made the George Floyd joke, was able to get jokes about himself removed too. Kevin Hart had jokes about himself removed. They also cut jokes involving Trump and Melania. So I'm sitting here trying to figure this out. If you had the power to get jokes removed, then why not do your people a favor? Why not say, hey bro, this joke is targeting somebody who was brutally murdered. Let's not air that. Because if we're willing to remove jokes about Melania, Donald Trump, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Kevin Hart, then at the very least, George Floyd should have been given that same courtesy.
This particular case, Kevin, he kept bragging on the Breakfast Club about how it was his production, right? That means he got to make decisions. There have been any number of roasts prior to this, whether it was the one about Donald Trump, whether it was the one with Joan Rivers, all of these people, including Tom Brady, said, these people are off limits. We don't like these jokes, let's cut them. Just like Kevin did. There were a lot of jokes that were cut, including some regarding Tony Hinchcliffe himself and the military and vets. They listened to it, and all of them passed the sniff test. Well, not all of them, but George Floyd. And George Floyd represents so much to this country. The world basically stopped.
Right.
So you have a lot of people who are still suffering from anxiety, from trauma, especially the family. So for Kevin to get on that show and talk about it and then be so indignant about, no, I didn't hear the interview when Lauren said, did you hear the interview that I did with his family member? No, and now I won't listen to it. It was almost as if he was angry about the possibility of something that might have made him feel bad about him.
Before we get into the video, if you want to learn how I made $142,000 from YouTube this month, join my community by clicking the link in the description. That's where I give you all the tools you need to grow on YouTube and start making money. I also give you opportunities to create content with me, whether that's joint videos or reaction videos that get posted on both of our channels. On top of that, I promote your content across my social media platforms. So if you've been wanting to work with me, click the link in the description and join the community. Let's get to work. Let's stay consistent. Let's make money together.
Here's the thing, I said this. I think one of the questions you hear is, why are we, after 2 weeks, still talking about a George Floyd joke? The alternate question to that is, why after 6 years are we still doing them? So I understand that, but I am a performer. I've said any number of things that have been offensive. I don't like what happened. I don't know that I'd have laughed at it. First off, I wouldn't have had somebody that I was that opposed to on a roast, because a roast is an intimate thing. It's about friends and people kind of giving each other a hard time and fucking around. Especially when you knew what he would do and you knew what would happen. The things I come away with, and I said it last week, I don't like that you cut jokes, meaning you were trying to protect people. You aired it in the first iteration, but not the second, because you knew how controversial it would be.
It'd be funny, man. Who people, they're supposed to be thorough, but they always fold for the devil. The devil meaning money. If you fold for money, you're no longer cool. Your rock star status is taken if you'll do anything for the devil's dollar. I don't respect you. I don't think you cool. I don't give a how much money they give you to betray our culture. You are a goof.
You're even goofier if you already got the money. You already played the game. You already beat them at their own game. Once they hand you $100 million, $150 million, $200 million, $300 million, you've already won, bro. So at what point do the sellouts finally realize they don't have to keep selling out? Seriously, when do they decide the game is over? Because if the whole purpose of selling out is to get the money, the success, and the opportunities, then once you've got all of that, once you've reached a level where nobody can really cancel you, then what exactly are you doing? Are you just doing it because you enjoy it at that point? Because it can't be about getting more opportunities. You already have every opportunity. You're the one creating opportunities now. Kevin Hart is permanently cemented in entertainment history. He's a legend. So what can they really do to Kevin Hart if he chooses to stand up for his people and be a strong black man? What can they honestly do? Nothing. But he chooses not to. And that's what makes it disappointing. Now, Dame Dash explained why he doesn't care about any of Kevin Hart's excuses. And honestly, I think that's the approach a lot of people are taking. Like, we hear what you're saying, bro, but we don't care. You should stand up for black people no matter what room you're standing in. You can give 1,000 different excuses, but don't pull out those same excuses after jokes got removed for Tony Hinchcliffe and Trump. I'm not trying to hear that.
That was disrespectful. Kevin's another one I think is broke. I know Jamie Salter very well. His OG was Jeff Heckman. His OG was Jay Goldberg. Jeff Heckman owns Hilco. they only do business if it's in distress, allegedly, from what I remember. Like when you deal with like a fund, all that matters is what's the criteria to make the fund deploy. And the criteria for Jamie Salter is usually distress. He only does distress. So he has a vegan business that goes out of business, and then all of a sudden he sells his name, and now he has to sit there and be, and he has to defend this. You know what I mean? And it's embarrassing. Jay and Kevin Hart are embarrassing because I put them where they're at, and then they went to the devil. And this is what happens. It seems like after 20 years, the gig be up. Like when is, as like, what would be the things that were said were very disrespectful. Like I'm a funny guy, but there's certain things in the hood you don't say in certain blocks, like pause. You don't talk about mothers. You don't tell niggas to suck your dick, pause. You just don't play with people that are dead. Like you don't play with, it's not funny. It's in poor taste. I mean, it might be a certain kind of humor, but I think in this temperature, based on the environment and the accusations, it wouldn't be, I just wouldn't see somebody volunteering to do that. And I felt like that could potentially destroy any iota of his career because people were able to tell him the truth to his face. How terrible his movies are, how he'll take $1, and how they could disrespect him while he's there and say it's humor. So if people would have started saying and all that other shit, would that have been all right? Where is the line drawn? There's humor, but then there's disrespect. And that was a public humiliation for our culture, to me. And that's not why I put Kev on. So that was embarrassing to me. And again, I look at him as a literal little brother. Literally, he's little. So I start to feel sorry. I don't understand how, like even his laugh, oh, like it was so contrived. You know, you saw certain black people just not laughing. Dave Chappelle would have never let that happen. Cat Williams ripped him, pause. And he had to say, thank you, sir, may I have another? From what I understood, and it's funny because I was on the plane the morning after it happened, going to see the Don, Farrakhan. And it came up on my feed and I watched the whole shit. And I was like, oh shit.
Now, in my opinion, that's actually the worst part of all this, bro. That's the worst news in the entire situation, Dame Dash. First of all, he's making a point. If you're selling out for the devil, bro, and you've already got all the money in the world, all the success in the world, everything most people could ever want, then what are we really talking about? If somebody is still selling out after making hundreds of millions of dollars, then maybe that's just who they are. Maybe that's their character. Maybe that's their spirit. But here's the part that's really bad. Dame Dash is watching all of this happen. He's forming an opinion about you. And now he's heading to sit down with Farrakhan. Now, Farrakhan has probably already seen the situation. But if he hasn't, Dame Dash is about to explain how you sold out black people for the corporate machine. Think about that. There's probably nobody in the black community more influential than Farrakhan. Now, I know some people might say that's a wild statement. It might even sound blasphemous to some. But the reason I say that is because you've got black Muslims, black Christians, black Jewish people, and even black atheists. Yet one thing all of those groups recognize, whether they agree on everything or not, is Farrakhan's influence. He's essentially viewed as a de facto leader by a lot of people. He's one of the only black figures who can deliver something like a State of the Union style speech and have people paying attention on a level that rivals major political addresses. So when somebody like that develops a perception of you, when somebody like that ends up disappointed in you, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal. But let me know what you think in the comments section. If you're still watching and you're looking for another good video, click the video somewhere on the screen right now. Somewhere over here, over there, wherever it's at. Check it out to find out why Dr. Umar Johnson is back in the headlines and why some people believe he needs to be arrested after this latest stunt. Click that video and see exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Dr. Umar Johnson. Send me a hype if you want to support. I'm out of here, folks.